Hola and welcome back, my friend, to my channel. And for those of you listening, welcome to the Yoniswell podcast. I am so happy that you're here. And today, this portion of what we do together, I refer to as the weekly 411. 411, where we come together to explore various topics that support you in your everyday life as you are regulating your nervous system, spiritually attuning, and returning to your nature in practical ways as you are reclaiming your authentic self, deepening your trust in your own inner knowing, your sacred energy, and living from that place of genuine alignments. Together, we are cultivating a space for self-trust, confidence, authenticity, and intuitive wisdom in ways that are both practical and deeply felt, ways that deepen your relationship with yourself and the people in your life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy and your presence. It genuinely means everything to me to share this space with you. And so that said, today we're going to check in. And I want to do a follow-up to the video and podcast episode I just posted on the archetype of Lilith. And so if you haven't listened or watched that one yet, I want to invite you to go back and take it in before or after this episode. It lays the ground for everything we are moving through today. I will link it in the show notes below so that you have that, so it's easy for you to navigate to. And if you have already listened, I want to check in with you. How are you absorbing the archetype of Lilith, the Lilith within you? How is that landing in your body, within your mind, within your heart? And what's coming up for you at this time? Is there something in you that you recognized about her story that you recognize in yourself? I would love to know. Please share in the comments what this experience has been for you. What is moving through you? What is opening? What questions you may have that are coming up. This is a living, heart-beating conversation, and your reflections matter because not only can I support you, but what you share can actually support others because it's a way and an opportunity for us to all relate to one another because Lilith lives within all of us. She shows up within all of us, and we are able to awaken our own Lilith and really shift and change the trajectory of our lives in a positive and impactful way for ourselves and others. So let's briefly tune back into the nature of Lilith, because the more times we circle back to this, the more layers we are able to receive. So Lilith, in the tradition of Jeffrey Wolf Green's evolutionary astrology, represents the eternal root of the sacred feminine. She is the original creatress, the archetype that existed before the rewrite, before the mythology that painted her as something to fear or exile, which was a man-made structure, societal viewpoint based on the patriarchy at that time. And so in her original nature, Lilith is the keeper of the flame. She is the one who lives in alignment with natural law, the intelligence of nature itself, cyclical, cycles of life, giving, sharing, inclusion, moving in rhythm with life rather than against it. She is not a wound to heal. She is a remembering to receive. And she is the part of you that was never actually lost, only waiting to be returned to. It's important to note that Lilith is not Black Moon Lilith. So Black Moon Lilith is a point in the sky that represents a version of Lilith, but Lilith, the original Lilith, is an asteroid body in the sky and is the original, most natural version of you on a soul level, and is not Black Moon Lilith at all. So you may actually hear other people talk about this archetype as the same. And that, according to this lens and this perspective, is not true. And so Lilith is actually where we begin inside the Feminine Current Incubator. She is a part of week 1, the root, where we explore the root chakra, the foundation for everything that follows. So if this is resonating and you're curious about what a deeper 8-week journey through all 7 goddesses, their archetypes, and the 7 chakras and what that looks like, I invite you to click on the link below in the show notes. It will take you to all of the information that can support you and allow you to learn about this program. It is a group program where we address you individually, but within the group, within community, so that we can all find a way to relate to one another, but also really empower ourselves through our own journey. And so now I want to take this on a path that I find deeply practical. The connection between the Lilith archetype and the root chakra and your nervous system. Because this is where the archetype becomes embodied, felt, and lived. This is where it stops becoming a concept and becomes something that can actually be felt and something you can work with in your daily life. Lilith is intimately connected to our root chakra. Okay, and so the root is our foundation. It governs, it rules our felt sense of safety, belonging, and primal instinct. It is the energy center most directly connected to the body, to the earth, our connection to Gaia, and to our most fundamental right, the right to exist fully as we are. And here's what I want you to really sit with when the Lilith archetype has been repressed, suppressed, culturally, generationally, personally. It is the root chakra and the nervous system that absorb this contraction, suppression, repression first. When we have learned over time that our instinctual nature is too much, too big, that our passion and our fire needs to be managed, that our wild knowing needs to be made more palatable for others. You all know what I'm talking about. The nervous system registers that as survival, a survival directive, and it begins to organize around keeping that nature contained. And how does that feel? To feel like a lion in a cage or to be contained. And so this can show up as chronic hypervigilance, a felt sense of always being on guard, always monitoring how we are being received, right? Reading the room. It can show up as difficulty trusting our own gut because you have been taught to second guess what your body already knows, the truth. That's your intuition. It can show up as a constant low-level contraction, chronic stress, as if fully inhabiting yourself might not be safe, right? So we're dealing with our own sense of safety and trust, self-trust. And so this is not a flaw. This is your own intelligence adapting to your reality in order to stay safe. And so there is more to this. And when we begin to reclaim our own Lilith within, we begin to say yes to our instinctual nature, our primal knowing, our right, our divine right to exist in fullness. The root chakra begins to open. The nervous system begins to receive the signal that is safe. It is safe to fully be here and present. This is what our nervous system regulation looks like in the context of the sacred feminine. So it is not just breath work and cold water that we're interacting with and doing as a way to break free from these dynamics. It is somatic permission, telling ourselves to stop shrinking and to allow ourselves to be present and authentic. And so Lilith is your expression of this, your own home, your own natural resources within that you are ready to tap into and to really embody so that they are available for you every day, all day, in your presence and awareness. And so how do we actually live this, right? How does the Lilith archetype become something embodied in the texture of an ordinary day? Right? This is our everyday life that we're really trying to master and improve. So here are some practices I want to offer you. The first is the morning instinct check-in. Before you check your phone, before you enter the stream of the day's demands, right? Simply pause. Place your hands on your heart or somewhere in your body that feels nurturing and ask, what does my body know right now? What is the first sense that I feel arising before my mind starts organizing and planning? This is Lilith speaking. So this is the practice of listening. The second is grounding, literally feet on the earth. Grass, sand, soil. Your root chakra is activated through physical contact with the natural world. And when we connect to the body, to the earth, we are reminding our nervous system of its original home. Even 5 minutes of barefoot contact with the ground can begin to shift the felt sense of safety in your body. This is not a metaphor. This is physiology. This is a physiological truth, and it is ancient knowing at the same time. This is your wisdom coming through. The third is noticing the moments of contraction throughout your day. Simply begin to notice, where do I make myself smaller? Where do I self-edit before I have even spoken? Where does my body contract when I am about to take up more space? So there's no need, and I say this authentically and from my heart, there's no need to fix anything. It's about simply noticing and finding and activating that genuine curiosity within you without judgment. And this is the beginning of your reclamation. The fourth is one authentic act daily, something small, something purely for your own nature and not for anyone's approval or reception. It could be as simple as speaking your honest preference when you are asked, choosing the thing or the food to eat that night that actually calls to you versus what other people want, moving your body in a way that feels alive rather than prescribed. One act a day that says, I am here. This is me. I choose this. Really tapping into your needs and knowing what those are. And the fifth is listening and learning to listen to your body before your mind overrides what's going on. So the intelligence of Lilith is instinctual. It's not analytical. So before you think your way into an answer, practice feeling for it first. Notice where in your body there is expansion versus contraction, openness versus closing. This is your root chakra speaking to you. This is Lilith. She has always been communicating with you, and we are simply learning to listen to her again. And so a practice that really resonates with me is waking up and naming 3 things I'm grateful for. So being in gratitude, I drink 1 glass of water with lemon in it. I start my coffee, and then I do about a 13-minute meditation. And this is my time to connect with the divine, to connect with my higher self, and really tap into my own intentions for that day. And so I really appreciate having these practices, and you can really interweave them, right? You can rotate them and really try them to see what resonates for you. Okay, so I invite you to do that. And moving on into the astrology so that we can relate to what the cosmos are reflecting back to us. Now, let's look at the current astrology and how it's weaving with this energy, right? So this is like an ocean wave of flow that is interacting with one another and speaking to one another. So all of what we have been exploring with Lilith is in beautiful resonance with what the sky is reflecting right now. Venus, the goddess of love, is currently transiting Leo, and she has recently been in opposition to Pluto Retrograde in Aquarius. I want to speak about both of these because they are significant. Remember, Venus represents your self-love, your self-value, how I relate to myself. It's your inner voice. It's also your relationship with money, your relationship with receiving. It's your relationship with your own creativity. And Pluto represents the soul, your soul, on the deepest evolutionary imperative of who you are. In Aquarius, Pluto correlates to the collective, the community, to the power of the individual in contribution to the greater whole. Aquarius also carries the memory of trauma from prior lifetimes and timelines. Aquarius is liberation from previous conditioning. It's also freedom from the known. So it is about places where your own individual nature was suppressed, repressed, even oppressed in the name of what the group required at the time, society for that matter. So this is the return to the power of the people. Venus in Leo is the emergence of a new identity, radiant, authentic, self-expressive, rooted in the genuine creative self. The opposition between these two, Venus in Leo and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, has been asking you a profound question. Can I fully, radiantly be myself and still belong? Can my individual flame serve the collective rather than threaten it? That is up to you. That is your choice. That is your own deeper knowing and your own stepping into your power. Keep in mind that the retrograde position of Pluto represents a deeply internal energy. Something is being dismantled on the inside. Old structures of identity that were built around what you needed to be in order to belong. Those are dissolving. And with Pluto, they are being excavated, dismantled. And as Venus in Leo moves away from the opposition, what is being born is a brand new identity rooted in authenticity, an identity that does not need external validation to shine. So this really is a time of releasing the old identity that needed external validation in order to feel loved, accepted, and a part of the group. This is Lilith energy. This is exactly what she represents, the original self reclaimed. And now we move into the terrain of the sun in Cancer, moving into a perfected square with Neptune this week in Aries. And this is worth speaking about as well. So the sun represents your creative purpose, your agency, and the animating light of who you are. It shines light on your purpose and your showing up in the world. In Cancer, the sun carries a yin quality, a private interior, deeply feeling. It is about going within to locate your creative truth. And Neptune represents disillusion, the softening of the boundaries of the old form, so that something new can emerge. In Aries, Neptune is dissolving the old warrior identity, the need to fight, survive, the old way of asserting self in the world, divisiveness. This square is supporting you in releasing the sense of self that you have already outgrown, the way of relating to yourself that belonged to a prior chapter. And here is the beautiful truth we are sharing here together in this moment. You have free will in every moment. You can choose on any given day to step into the version of yourself who is ready to return to who she naturally is. This energy is not doing something to you. It is creating the conditions in which your own agency can fully step forward. The sun in Cancer is asking you asking us to create from the inside out, to allow your creative purpose to emerge from the genuine interior of you, from what you actually feel. What are your needs? What you actually know and what you know your needs are, from your, deep knowing of what your soul is actually ready to express. So this isn't about performing to receive. And this is not another strategy. So this is from a place of presence and awareness. This is sovereignty, creatively self-actualizing what you are ready to receive and create. And it is deeply aligned with everything Lilith is pointing you toward. And so we are moving into the energy of the Capricorn Full Moon. And this takes place on June 29th. And it's at 8 degrees in the sign of Capricorn. And this is ruled by Saturn, so it correlates to conditioning, time, you as your own authority, man-made structures. Full moons are moments of culmination, shining a light on something when something reaches its fullness and is ready to be seen, released, and integrated. This Capricorn full moon represents a culmination of the old emotional reality. So Saturn is our physical world. It's our physical reality. It is our bones. It's the structure. So it's the structures, the old identities, the emotional patterns that shaped who you believed yourself to be, many of which have been quietly dismantling themselves, dissolving throughout this entire period of disillusion. And for each person, the specific time frame and content of this dissolving is unique to your chart, your history, your life's experience, your soul's particular journey. But the invitation is universal for everybody, for all of us. Allow yourself to feel the completion of what is complete. Honor what has been and be open to what is becoming. And specifically, just right off the bat, I can relate to this energy in so many ways. And one way I can see this playing out is there are just certain relationships that I cannot go back to because they were shaped by the old identity. And now that relationship can reform and bloom, but it's blooming from a brand new soil, a brand new identity of self. And that goes for both people. Both people might not be fully conscious of this. I know that I am, and I know that I'm going to work with this energy as a way to support me in my evolution moving forward and how I'm creating the reality that I desire with the people that are in alignment with me, matching with my frequency, and really creating space. I am creating space to co-create with people and partnerships who respect me and are on the same level. And that's 100% okay, right? We have our own value of self, and we are aligning with others who have values for themselves that reflect and match with ours. That is my perspective, and I'm sharing that with you today. And so with that said, Lilith reminds us that our infinite supply of abundance, safety, and stability lives within our own divine nature, within our own magnetic fields. She represents our own natural resources, always available, always present, infinitely ours, yours to tap into and embody. And so this is, not something that you have to go out and acquire. This is not about doing another thing in order to create something for yourself. It is something that you remember, something that you find within yourself. So really allowing space to go within and listen. So I want to invite you, if you haven't yet, go back and watch that Lilith archetype episode. Sometimes when we receive something more than once at different moments in our lives, we are able to see ourselves and our own situation from an entirely new perspective. What landed one way the first time may land somewhere completely different the second time, because you are different. You are always in motion. You are always evolving, and you are always becoming. We all are. This is the beautiful part of this, being on earth and living as a soul in a human experience. So my concluding reflection and question to leave with you today is this. What resources, gifts, talents, parts of you connected to nature do you have that support you in returning to your own nature? For me, it is the ocean. For me, it is moving my body. It's breath work. It's surfing. It's golf. It's yoga. Now, what you wish you had, not what you are working toward, that's not what I'm talking about. What is already here within you? What is already available, already yours, right now in the life you are living today? And when you get real and honest with yourself about your own gifts and talents, are you keeping that to yourself? And do you have the capacity within yourself to share that with the world? And then the rest follows. So Lilith is asking you to remember what you already have within you. I would love to hear what comes up for you. Please share in the comments, because remember, what you share can help other people, and what other people share can help you as well. So this is about supporting you, sharing to support you. I'm here to support you. And also when we share, others can relate as well. And then we're all helping each other. So thank you for your energy, your presence. Thank you for being here today. I am sending you oceans of love. I look forward to connecting with you very soon. Ciao. I will see you soon.